Hey Leadership Nampa, it's Mark Browning, the Vice President for College Relations here at CWI, and it's Government and Leadership and Legislation Day, so I appreciate you having me here virtually. It's 2020 and COVID-19 and we're all used to this. Beats another Zoom, right? So we'll go at it this way. You know, this upcoming session will be very, very interesting, and coming off the heels of an election that was certainly very interesting for all of us, I thought it'd be a good time just to maybe go through and talk a little bit about how the community college district works from a legislative and a political subdivision point of view. So CWI is technically a political subdivision with property taxing authority. That's what we are. We exercise that authority for the purpose of education with a community college, but we are, by Idaho code, a taxing authority. Our district, in terms of being authorized for taxation, is all of Ada County and all of Canyon County. Now that was established by the voters back in 2007, and if you were around then, you might remember that the community college yes effort was to establish a taxation district with the purpose of using those taxation funds to then put up a community college, which has happened. So in terms of taxation, it's the entire two counties. It works on a mill levy rate, which, as you're going to learn throughout the day how mill levies work, is it's a valuation of your property, be it your home or your land or whatever, your business, whatever that might be. And then there's a mill levy rate, which is basically a times variable. And the value of your property times this variable comes out with your taxation rate. So when you're looking at it and you look at the rate that you get from your home and you say, oh, I'm paying X to CWI, on average in Ada County, with the average home now at about $400,000, you take away the first $100,000 because of the homeowner's exemption, right? We don't pay tax on that. So the taxable value is around $300,000 for the average home here in Ada County or Canyon County. I want to say that it's around, the average home price now is cresting up close to $300,000. But that average value then gets taxed on that, and on average we see somewhere for the average homeowner somewhere around $36 a year, $3 a month. I want you to remember that. You can't get a cup of coffee now for $3. So that's what it's costing you to have CWI in your community. And by the way, we've not raised our tuition rates, which go to supplement that, in over 5 years. So we work on a balance of funding. We have a three-legged stool. There are state appropriations, and you're going to hear from Senator Agenbrod, who sits on the Joint Finance and Appropriations Committee. You'll hear from him later in your day, and plays a very key role in the amount of monies that go to different state and public agencies such as CWI. Then we have tuition and fees, and then the property tax arm that goes into that. So CWI's rate, around $12.44 per taxable $100,000. That's one of the lowest rates in the state. Our rate has actually dropped from a high of $16 and around 50 cents in 2016 all the way now down. We're in the mid $12 range. Now, how are we able to do that? The real secret is it's really been the rise in valuation of property. But what we have done that other agencies have not done, and we're in a different situation where we can do this because of the way we manage and run the college on the business model that we have, is that when new property comes on the roll, so you and I own a home and we get our twice a year property tax statement, the value of our home goes up, we pay more because our home is worth more, even if the rate doesn't change. When new property comes on the roll and they assess that and they add that on and it comes on in the fall, what we do is we take those monies and we treat them as one time, meaning we'll use them for a one-time project rather than to our base. What that allows us to do then is to back our budget down on our rate, so the overall value of the taxing entities between Ada and Canyon County are going up, but we're not compounding it with all the new property that's coming on. So we're able to actually, what you do is you set your budget and you say, okay, I need $8 million or $9 million, whatever your figure might be. Then you take the value of the district, the taxation value, and divide it back out. It's actually a rather simple equation. What we do with that is to just say, we're going to hold this static at this amount. And as the property value goes up, our rate goes down. So I want you to remember that as when you're talking to your friends and family about CWI. So how do we work? Within a taxing district, you have to have elected representation. If someone's going to levy a tax on you, they have to be elected. You and I as voters have to be able to say yes or no, we want that person to continue. So we have 5 locally elected trustees. They each come from a specific zone within the 2 counties, but they are elected by the entirety of the zone. So you might have one seat that comes from primarily Canyon County, another seat that comes from primarily Ada County, and a couple that cross over. But the entirety of the 2 counties, the district, vote on them. They serve 4-year terms. There are no term limits in Idaho, so they can go as long as they want. And we've seen that with a couple. We have 2 right now, as of this first week in November, that were 2 of the founding trustees that were originally appointed by the State Board of Education when the college was formed back in 2007. That's Mary Nyland and Mark Dunham. Now, Mr. Dunham has said he's not going to continue. He's going to retire after what has been 13 years of service. Mary has elected to run for re-election again, so there's no term limits in Idaho. These positions are nonpartisan. There's no party declaration, and much like education or municipal positions such as your school board or your city council position or a highway district, a weed district, your mosquito abatement district is always one of my favorites, the cemetery district. These are nonpartisan positions, and they are expected to remain partisan neutral with those. So as I mentioned, there's 3 legs to the funding stool that keeps CWI going between property tax, state appropriation, and tuition and fees. So we've talked a little bit of how we have managed the property tax side of that revenue. We've also kept our tuition fees static for 5 years. We've not raised that. The original founding trustees and the original administration of this college held a very firm belief that we all that have come after that point really adhere to, which is we have a great education here. It's of the highest quality, but if you can't afford to get through the door, it does you no good. So we have to remain accessible through affordability. And so we have really put together a business model that really deals with that. Now, a lot of people, when you say the B word, they get a little squishy about how that works with education. But let me just clarify. What a faculty member and a student engage in the classroom is education. And that is a relationship with an exchange of information and ideas and discussion and everything that goes into that classroom. How we support that very much is subject to business principles, meaning that we cannot spend more than we bring in. And we have to be sustainable, and we have to be forward thinking and strategic in our vision as we look, because the best education does no one any good if we're not here tomorrow. We have to be here to serve the community. So the way we support education is through business principles. We've developed a model that looks and is flexible to be able to react to the changing paradigms within the marketplace. And one of the ways that we're able to do that is through partnerships with businesses. Now, I know many of you are involved in businesses here. That's a lot of the program, and that's one of the great things the Nampa Chamber does, is champions business within the Nampa community and within Canyon County, and really within the region here in the Treasure Valley. And Mitch Minetti, as being the lead cheerleader, really does a superb job with that. Our role is to support those businesses with the trained and skilled workforce that they need, be they on the trade side, through construction, welding, machining, whatever might come, through auto and diesel mechanics, small engine repair, power sports, those types of things, all the way through now into healthcare, into business, and certainly into information technology. Everything that goes into that, we are charged to make sure that those students are ready to go when they walk in your front door. And how do we do that? By knowing what you need. So when you come to us and say, we need people to be able to do A, B, and C, and D, E, F, G, H, and I, then we work with you to develop that curriculum together. That way those students are getting the exposure to the things that they need, so they are work ready when they come out the door. If the positions that they're pursuing require a 4-year degree or additional training outside of the 2 years or the certificates that we provide, we want them to be transfer ready. Whether they go to Boise State or the University of Idaho or Idaho State or wherever they might choose to go on after us, we want them to be transfer ready, so that when they walk in that classroom for years 3, 4, and if they go on to a graduate degree, they have that experience and they're ready to go. So that is the lowdown on kind of how CWI works. We're very proud of our operation here. We're super proud and honored with our graduates. Our graduates honor us every day when they're out in the workplace, and the quality of the work that they do, and especially we're seeing that now with our healthcare workers. They're on the front lines. And when someone says, I got my training at CWI, that's what we work for. So I wish you all the best today. Good luck with the rest of your day. Good luck with Senator Agenbrod. He's a great representative and senator for Canyon County. He'll walk you through how the Joint Finance and Appropriation Committee works and some of the more intricate parts of the legislature. We work very closely with our legislature here. We don't hire outside counsel. We do it all ourselves because we feel we tell our story better than someone who might be hired from the outside. As always, if you need anything, get a hold of Mitch. He has all of our contact information. Look us up on the web, and we're happy to answer any questions you might have at any time. And good luck with the rest of your program. Thanks now.